Thank you for coming to our special Dzinto, which is Fanti naming ceremony for a few of our co-workers. And to get us started, I want to give an introduction to those special guests here. So today I have with me our dear friend, Dr. from who works at, okay, I cannot talk today.
So for every naming ceremony that we have in our tradition, we have to have a family head, right? So you have to have the head of the family, who's going to be the one who actually gives the names. So for tonight, this afternoon's ceremony, our Ebusian means family, Penin means elder. So Ebusian Penin, is that right there? That's right there. Ebusian Penin means family head or head of the family. So for today's ceremony, Dr. Foriebwa is going to be the head of our family. His first name is Kwesi, and you're going to find out the meaning of what that Kwesi means in a minute. But it's Kwesi Foriebwa. So the Kwesi has a special significance for that. So since we have to have a male family head, we also have to have a female family head. Now, contrary to what people think, the women in our culture actually have a lot of power. You know, we call them the neck that moves the head. So the man may be the head of the family, but the ladies are the necks. Right? Tell them where to go. Oh, I just spoke Fanti. So for today's ceremony, we're going to have we'll call it Aunt Araba. Okay? In Ghana, everybody sees that aunt. You don't call people by their first name. Okay? So when I said Dr. Foriebwa, I would have said Ebusiapeni Kwesi. Aunt Araba. Araba also has a special significance. So her name is not on there because we're sure she was going to come. But Araba is also a name that you can find out what the significance is. So to represent the female side of the family, or as the neck that moves the head, we have Auntie Araba. Or if you want to call it Bar, you can call it Bar. Okay, so Auntie Araba, please. So welcome. Okay.
So the other thing, in case you're wondering why we decided to do this, several weeks ago we were having a conversation in the office, and I think a few people in the office decided that they wanted me to give them a Ghanaian name. And so I thought, oh, very soon there were it started with like about 5 or 6, and very soon it grew, and we had about 13. And I thought, oh, how about making it special? If you're going to get a name, we just don't throw names around. So we're going to put you through the experience of being named, and then give you an opportunity to learn a little bit about how the names came to be. And since I'm a Ghanaian, but I'm one tribe, I just decided to go by my tribe's naming ceremonies, systems, and culture. And you learn very soon that they are from a completely different tribes, and therefore they have a different kind of naming system. And then the two of us, we come from the same Fanti tribe. So that's where this came from. So we hope that you will enjoy, because most of you, because everybody who's been named today is an adult, we will not put you through we are not going to pick you up like Simba. Hey,
I wanted to, but she won't let me.
To do that. So we will try very hard. But there are a few people that we told them that they have to denounce their countries in order to take a Ghanaian heritage. And so from this day forward, everybody who is getting a name, you are going to become a Fanti. You're going to be from my tribe, which means that you name Mianon. Mianon means 7. So I'm going to start speaking Fanti with you. So we will get started.
So this is Ghana. Just a little bit of a background. Ghana is on the west coast of Africa. So this is the west coast of Africa. This is all Gulf of Guinea. So we sit right on the coast. Right, so this is the Gulf of Guinea. The capital is Accra. When we're growing up, there were 9 regions. Now there are what, 16? I have no idea. I don't know the names, but you know, there are 16 regions. from, Faustina is actually from, not Secondita, her mom is from Secondita. Somewhere between Accra and Cape Coast is Elmina, which is really where Faustina is from. Now, Aunt Araba, where are you from? Cape Coast. So Aunt Araba is from Cape Coast. Cape Coast has, I'm sure you've heard of the slave castles. There's a Cape Coast castle, there's an Elmina castle. Those were the castles that were the last port of call before the slaves got onto the ships. So if you ever visit Ghana, make sure you go there. Let me just warn you, yeah, you will come out crying. So this is you know. But this is Ghana, it's on the west coast of Africa. It's about 33 million people. It's about the size of Oregon, from what I understand. Okay. It's about the size of the state of Oregon. So there are about, how many ethnic groups? 141 different ethnicities. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I'm doing it. I just want to tell you. So there are 141 different languages. Some of them are dialects. For example, Kwesi is from, I mean, Ashanti, yeah, Kwesi is from Kumasi. So Kwesi is from Kumasi. I'm sure you've heard of the Ashantis. That's the biggest tribe in Ghana. Kwesi is from that tribe. The Fantis are kind of like an offshoot. It's like Texas, you know, and Arkansas, right? You know, you go to Texas, you speak a different language from Arkansas. You need and McDonald County is a whole place by itself, right? So, you know, and then you need a passport to go to Boston. To go to Boston, or Georgia, you know. So you move it right along. So outdoor and naming ceremonies are very, it's our way, it's part of our culture.
Just before he goes on there, wherever he was going with that, he didn't arrive where he needed to go. Because we're from two different, I knew where he wanted to go with it, I didn't want him to go there. They are from two different tribes who speak two different languages. And so when he said that he switches, amongst us, we speak, when I met me, we were speaking his language. And then, so sometimes when we have conversation, we will speak his, we speak mine, we speak it, and then, but the official language in Ghana is English. So when you go to school, we are supposed to use English. In fact, when we use our native language in school, you could do it.
Literally, with a K. Corporate punch.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
So we are able to speak each other's language. So there will be some pronunciations that I may have to jump in to help with that because it comes out a little.
And Auntie Araba says so she will help me. I'm the old man, so their language is kind of similar. Mine is yeah. I'm like I'm from Mississippi. So then outdoor and naming ceremonies in our culture, what we believe is that when a baby is born, a baby is actually not just a baby, it's actually a spirit that is come. Unfortunately. If you're a Christian, don't worry about it. I don't believe in that stuff. I'll just give you the background to it. Okay? But the baby has to stay 8 days. After the 8th day, then we understand that the babies come to stay. Any baby that dies before the 8th day is not given a name. Okay, so it's gone back to the ancestors. Okay, if I say anything wrong, just correct me. So we wait until the 8th day for the baby to be named. Okay, so if you were born today, you wait next week, 7 days from today, you get a name. Okay, so you don't get a name in the hospital. They don't put, a name in the hospital and all of that. No, we don't do that. The baby doesn't even come out. That's why it's called an outdoor naming ceremony. For the first, when the baby comes home from the hospital, that baby doesn't come out of the house till that 8th day. That's why it's called an outdoor. That's the first time the whole community gets to see the baby and the new mother. Okay, so, so the ceremony is done at sunrise because that's basically when the new day. So the baby's introduced at the beginning of the day. And then gifts are given to the parents. Unfortunately, we don't have gifts for you there.
Who are the parents here? Who are serving as parents? Okay. Alright, so those of you who are parents, your kids, I gotta do this again. I recently, in the last 3 years, anytime I have my kids have a birthday, it's mine, I celebrate delivery day. Because without delivery, there is no birth. So, you guys start talking about when I said you should bring a parent, you have to give your parent a gift. So keep that in mind. something I just thought to add is that even though a child is not given a name, we do have some inherent names that comes with the fact that we are born. So it's not like we're a nameless person. And those are the names that you are going to be getting today. You are going to be getting the names that, by virtue of the day on which you were born, or the order of birth that you were born, those are the names that we are going to be giving you.
Okay. Type of names, the traditional names, so like Osina mentioned, there are what we call day names. We have day names within the Akan, what we call the Akan tribe. The Akans have day names, so every day of the week has a name associated with it, whether it's male or female. Now, my tribe, I'm a Ghana, we don't have day names. We have specific names depending on order of birth. So, if I walk into my clan and I mention my name, everybody knows I'm the firstborn or the firstborn. Not necessarily the firstborn, the firstborn. So we have all those names. So those are traditional names, and they are very unique. As soon as somebody mentions their name, most of the time, we just found out. I mean, literally, just found out 10 minutes ago that is it uncle or cousin? Cousin. I know him. I mean, as soon as she mentioned the name, I knew who that person was. So we have those unique connections. Okay. And then after the British took over, Christianity came into town. We have what we call Christian or English names. So most people converted to Christianity. And when you converted to Christianity, you get baptized or christened, and you are given a Christian or English name. So Faustina is actually an English name. I have one, but I'm not telling you. I don't know if you have one. Yeah. Most of us, as soon as we get older, we just dish those English names because, well, yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I ditched my English name when I was about 10 years old. I decided to speak India. So, my English name, so just imagine somebody called Charles Abrahams. You think that person is white and I'm as black as you can. So I just decided to ditch that. The Abrahams is, it's a whole different story. I have got that. So we get Christian English names at Christmas. That's normally when somebody is baptized in church. If you're Catholic, baptized in church, if you're Methodist, Presbyterian, so when I was baptized, I was given a Christian name. All my siblings have Christian names. Also, we have Bill of the Week. I've mentioned that already. There are male female names. Also, birth order is important. So somebody, a name can be given depending on the order of birth. So like I said, in my tribe, our names are by order of birth. Okay, so as soon as they mention the name, you know exactly where the person falls. So one of the most common ones is Mensa or Mansa. Okay, that's the third born. Those they are really bad. You don't want we have a saying in my country that in every family there's a Mensa. Okay, so in every family there's one of those. You know what I mean, right? That uncle, one at the Thanksgiving table. Yeah, those are the Mensa. Twins are different. Twins have, when we have a twin, it's celebrated. They have different set of names. And then I think that first, the next two children after the twins have special names. So that takes a departure from whatever other names there are. So those are also different. And then sometimes some people are given depending on unique circumstances. So for example, somebody is born on Christmas Day, they may be called, so let's say somebody is, if Uncle Kwesi was born on Christmas Day, they call Kwesi Bronya, right? Bronya means Christmas. So Kwesi Bronya immediately says that he was born on Christmas Day. Or maybe the person was born during a festival, so Kwesi Day, or some other special occasion would dictate that they get a special name. Something like that. Also, one of the things that we do a lot in our country, especially within the Akan culture, is that people are named after other people, right? So, for example, you have a kid, and you kind of like Dr. Abraham, so you want, and I'm going to say this, everybody, if your grandkids name them me, they're going to be great. Okay? So typically, we have names where people are named after other people, and the whole idea behind that is it's designed so that kid will emulate someone who is great. So my wife actually is named after her.
Oh, but my English name is after my mom. But my traditional name is after my dad's auntie. And so my My name is completely
messed up. Yeah, yeah. So her name is completely off. It doesn't have any. She was just given the name of somebody. Okay, so I may decide to my grandkids if you have the middle name DVG, because I want them to be on. All right, so those are also special names. A lot. There are people who are named after people all the time. And I will do the same thing in the United States where someone is named after a president or something. So. All right, so day of the week names. Who wants to take this? Should I go on? Okay. All right. So there are 7 days of the week. I was going to say 8 days of the week. 7 days. And these are the fancy names. So Sunday, the name Sunday is Presida. That's what we say Presida. The male is called Kwesi. Now you know where the Kwesi is coming from. That's him. So basically, if I tell you that this is Dr. Kwesi Oforie, but that tells you that he was what? He was born on a Sunday. Okay. Now I was also born on a Sunday, but I'm not part of this tribe, so I don't have that name Kwesi. Okay. So the day of birth is very, very important. The day of the week in which you were born is very important in our culture. Okay. So you have to know. And I know it's not something that we do in America. People don't really know what day of the week they were born in. But in our culture, you have to know the day of the week you were born in. Monday is, and then the female name is AC, right? And my wife was born on Sunday, so she's supposed to be AC, but she's not, because she was named after her, her aunt. Monday is Judah. Sorry, my Fanti can be. It's not that. I can fake it till I make it. And the male name is Ojo. Sometimes the Fantis, like to make it, Jojo. They like to make it sexy.
Very funny.
And then Adua is a female. Tuesday is Binada. Binada is Kobina or Ebo. Now my younger son is called, we call him Kobina or Ebo. We have his name. And then the female is Araba. So this is Auntie Araba. So Auntie Araba, she was born on what?
That's right.
Okay. So now if you know the day of the week you were born in, now you're beginning to see what name you're going to get. Okay, you maybe see what it is. Wednesday is Uguda, Kweku, or Ekwa. Now, anybody heard about Kweku Anansi? Anansi stories. Anybody heard about Anansi stories? Okay. Oh, you haven't? Okay. Kweku Anansi is this guy. Anyway, it's a folk tale. So this Wednesday borns, Kweku Baboni. Kweku Baboni means what? Ba. They are no. So Ikwa or Kukwa. Kukwa is a sexy form of Ikwa. Thursday is Dawada. Dawada and then Ekho is the male, and then Abba is the female. Now this may seem like I have no idea what the Fantis were doing. The Fantis are weird. They do things. They anglicize almost everything. Hi, I love you. The Fantis anglicize everything. By anglicize, I mean there's a huge European influence on the Fantis. Portuguese, Dutch, English. So a lot of things, the Fantis sometimes deviate from the norm a little bit. Friday is Fida. Kofi is also another one. Kofi and Kweku, they're not good. If one or if I like it, if it's nice. I'm not going to say sexy. And then Saturday is meaning that the male is Kwana or Atu. And then the female is Abba. Okay, so these are the day names. Alright, what's the next slide? Okay, so order of birth names. So this is in the Fanti. So it's quite different from different tribes. So you guys are going to have to help me with this one. So the firstborn is called Pesi, right? So that's the first one, Pesi. So for example, if you are the firstborn and you're born on a Tuesday, Araba Pesi. Does that make sense? So when somebody can come and say Araba Pesi, immediately I know you're born on a Tuesday and you're the firstborn. Does that make sense? So the name is very descriptive. Third is Mansa. So that's the third born. So if somebody is Kweku Mansa or Kweku Mensa or Kweku Mansa, well, Mansa is the female, the male is Mensa, right? The male is Mensa. What's the second? Is that it?
Yeah.
There's nothing for second. The fourth is Manan. Okay? Anan. Anan is 4. So these are basically the names. This is some of this. It's the numerology, right? So 4 is Anan, right? That's 4. When you say Anan, or it's 4. So Anan is, and then 5th is Menu, and then 7th is a son, and then 10th is Baby, right? In my country, I think we have something for 9. My grandfather was 9. It's called Akwa. So, it depends. Tribes are very different. Any questions before I go on? I know sometimes when we're doing these things, people have all kinds of questions, and the questions sometimes are more interesting than the presentation themselves. Anybody has any questions that we can answer?
Not every order has a name.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually did some homework. I actually called them to make sure that I have my numbers and so far this is what I have. Them, I guess there are more. I probably could have done a lot more research.
Yeah, the second one, it's like the 4th verse of a hymn. Nobody sings it. Everybody to church, they never sing the 4th verse. The 1st, the 2nd, and the last. All right. So these are in addition to that, they are prefixes. Now, a lot of people ask me what Ni means, right? And I'm going to use myself as an example. Ni is really not a name. My name is actually Adete, right? Which is the name we give to the first boy in my tribe, right? The Ni is really a prefix. And the reason for the Ni in my case is because in my tribe, we have 2 sets of names. We have what we call the first generation names, and we have the second generation names. The first generation names started with my grandfather. So my grandfather and his siblings have the same names as myself and my siblings. And then my dad and his siblings have names, and those names are the same as my kids and my brother's kids. So when we were born, right, because my grandfather and his siblings were still alive, you don't call an elder by their first name. So out of respect for my grandfather, the Ni is put in front of my name. And the Ni can stand for Mr., Sir, King, Prince, whatever. It's just a prefix. That is out of respect for the older one that's there. So growing up, my dad was Paco for a long time. That is, my dad has the same name as my first son. But as he got older, we put a Ni in front of his name and he became Paco. Right? So that's basically what this is. Right? We typically don't call people by their first names, and especially when somebody is, so for example, my wife is Mami Ikwe Silfwa. Again, she was named after somebody called Ikwa Silfwa. But you're not going to call her Ikwe Silfwa because that old lady is still alive. You call her Ikwe Silfwa, that means you're disrespecting the old lady. Okay? It took me a long time when I came to the United States to call people by their first names. It took me almost 2 years. Okay? I mean, I just couldn't bring myself to call my professors by their first names. It took me a long time. So we'll call her Mami Silfwa, Ikwe Silfwa, because the Mami is basically mother or an elder woman. And that's what it stands for. Nana is the same as me. It can be said, it can be chief, it can be prince, it can be, that kind of thing. I'm sure you all know what Papa means, or Papa, or Papa. It's just a variation of the same thing. Any other female sibling is called sister. When I go to Ghana, they call me brother, because that's brother. Yeah, brother, that's what they call me. You don't call me by my first name. I won't get mad at somebody might. So, and then you usually use aunt, uncle, right? Because you really don't want to call somebody by their first name. You don't. It's a no-no. Okay, so I'm having to train my daughters-in-law that before we go. When you see Maria, Aunt Maria, there you go. Okay. This is my wife and her siblings. This was on my father-in-law's funeral. You see, they're all in black. That's our traditional funeral garb. Okay. Now you've seen my wife wearing black these last few days. You've seen my wife wearing black because my dad passed away, so she's been wearing black. I don't have to. She's been. But this is their firstborn. Her name she was born on a Tuesday, so she's named Araba Anima. Right? And she named after somebody. Okay. So you can see that we call her Mami Araba Anima. Right? Ahima, because she was named after somebody, the Mami is put in front of it. Okay? The second one, this is their second born. His name is Kwesi. So he was born on a Sunday. Kwesi Chan. So we call him Kwesi because the child he was named after somebody. Right? So we put the Kwesi in front of it. Oh, yeah, it's his birthday today. That's right. The third one is, this is the third, that's her right there. Address mother. I don't know why they don't have anything in front of it. You forgot Maria address mother. So this is, and then Osina is, that's, where's my So you can see she was born on Sunday. Her name is supposed to be AC, but she was named after somebody, a person for her. So her name is, she doesn't have the AC in it at all. Okay, so she doesn't even have a day in it. And then this is Jane, where is, well, I just mentioned the English name, right? Ifwa Chana, Mamiko Chana. And then the last one is, she was born on the Monday, Adwa Kamasima, Nana Adwa Kamasima. So you can see that they, we put those prefixes in front of the names out of respect for who they were named after. All right, so welcome to the new MSS Fanti. So these are the ones we're going to give names to today. Traditionally, we're supposed to have done this very early in the morning, brought you out, picked you up towards the sun, and if Lion King is actually
Cool.
Lion King is actually accurate. Okay. But then the other thing, yeah, I think this is
Before we start, when we're doing naming ceremony, you have to wear white.
okay.
And so that's why they're in white. It's new life. It's clean. The child is clean. There's nothing. So that's why she's all in white. And they're all in white. I didn't wear white because I'm coming to education. So this is called an ABC cloth. We have names for all our materials. And this is an ABC because I'll be among academia people, I know. So this is called an alphabet material. But I should have worn white if I was going to a naming ceremony. That's just, you see everybody in white and it's for that clean new life. So that's the symbol, what do you call it, symbolism?
Yeah.
Being white. So you can continue.
Thank you. That's actually a very important thing there. Yeah. And then what we do is, what we typically do is when you're born, what we do is one of the most important things, they have a little, actually it's alcohol and water, right? They have alcohol and water. And whoever the family elder is, will dip his finger in the water, put on the kid's tongue and say, you have to know the distinction between water and alcohol. And what they are trying to tell the kid is you have to know the difference between truth and lies. You have to be able to distinguish between the truth and a lie. So if it's truth, speak the truth. So if it's a and son, so you have to know so you have to read that. And they put up just a little. We're not going to do that today. But just so you are more. Okay.
So we will get started. So what we thought we would do, because I know that people may want to take pictures, feel free to take pictures. So we will be calling you by name, and then you have to come out front. And so we have some fabric. We brought some kente fabric that if you would want to, you can break yourself off and take a picture. And so there are 4 different ones. 5. Yeah, there are 4 different ones. And then you can break yourself off. And then you can take a picture. And then we'll mention your name, what your fancy name will be, and then you will get your.
You will get a certificate.
You get a certificate.
You get a certificate.
And now, at this time, I would like to acknowledge somebody who really made a difference in making all this table. Kylie actually set up the backgrounds for for the PowerPoint, for the invitations. She did and decided I would do the decoration. So Kylie, thank you, and I'm glad you took this on. Otherwise I should have had white tables and nothing.
Are you getting a name?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Kylie is getting it.
So the first one.
Wait.
Oh.
Okay, this is it.
Oh, Kylie is the first one.
Yes, because she is, she's the first.
So Kylie is Ajua Pacey. Now can somebody tell me if you remember? Ajua is what day of the week? Monday. And Pacey means she's what? She's the firstborn. You see, Ajua,
I don't PSA. With your
Your
parents.
Yes. And then if you want to take a picture, you drink yourself one of those things and you're going to take a picture and get your certificate.
And from now on, in India.
Right. Having your sibling. Oh.
Any way you want.
I don't think they're going to guess what it's
Just go walk.
Don't worry, you won't get your special souvenirs later. We had a little hiccup, but it will come. Sure.
You want to take it for
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, step just a little bit that way. Yes. Do one together. Thank you. Let's get over here.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you.
Apapa. Apapa means welcome.
Oh.
So welcome to the family. Next one. Yeah, Denise.
So now, please, before you come, you have to denounce your Nigerian heritage.
You know, Nigerian jollof is not better than Ghana jollof.
That's not what you told us. You said,
No, it's better. Ghana jollof is better than Nigerian jollof.
I want to charge him.
There is a rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana. It goes way back. We fight about it. No.
You will not get it if you do it.
Okay. Ghana jollof is the best.
There you go. And there's a running joke. People say Ghana is the Canada of America. Of Africa, right? No, it's not. And her name is Araba Pacey, right? Araba is what day of the week? Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Tuesday. And Pacey means she's what? Apapa.
Appa.
Oh. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? So Maria is Araba. So Araba is also Tuesday.
I see them. I remember.
And Kiechre means what? The last one. She was. That explains a lot, doesn't it? Welcome. Gay. That's gay. Oh, there's a lot of cases here. So gay is a what is born on Wednesday, and she's also a firstborn. Yeah, just like that. Next is Christine. Christine is Ikua. So she was born on Wednesday, but she's the second born, so there's nothing special about her. Just, you know. Back! I'm going to beat myself out of that way. But as you know, the second boss are always the one that rule the house, right? Yeah. There you go. They always rule the house. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I found this very, very interesting. These two, I mess their names all the time. KS, I keep calling them Kathleen and Christine back and forth. And then when I was talking, I realized, oh, wait, they're both Wednesdays? And they're both second ones?
And they're both very special.
Yeah. And both English background, they're always correcting my work. I mean, I was very surprised.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Lisa is Anna Casey. She's a firstborn, and she was born on a Thursday.
I don't know how to say cheese in Fanti.
You can say cheese.
Her goofy.
It's like a first grade kindergarten graduation.
Kept moving this to the left.
Where's Will? Now. Oh, okay, then it's there. Okay. So.
Right there.
Julie, I want to do this. Okay, we got it. Now, Will is next. For those who don't know, Will actually spent time in Ghana, right? So he's rocking. He's actually rocking it. I mean, I like that shit. I mean, he's rocking it. He's got it. So Will is Ebo. Ebo means Thursday born. Yeah, Thursday born, and he's an only child. So an only Ankonam means walk alone. Ankonam means I walk alone. So that's why he has the name Ankonam. That means he's an only child. He knows how to wear that thing. Welcome.
Another announcement.
Yeah, I'm going to announce it.
Good, that's all I should say. I'll be sure.
So Amma was born on a Friday. That explains a lot. Friday born. I got only child.
Just such the news. I can fix it. You did that on purpose. Because I'm
Nigerian, yeah. If what PC. Michelle. If one menu is fifth born. So if one menu is fifth born. If one is Friday born and menu is fifth born. If one is Friday born, menu is fifth born, right? Yeah. That's it. KJ. If I KJ.
Oh, Equa, Kiki, or whatever. Born. I haven't seen it. Not, no, but that's Kiki
Yes.
for female.
Talk about last or an only child. I mean, you don't know that when you're born, and so you acquire that second name as last born or only child.
Later on. Yes, it comes later on. Yes.
If you're a second child, if you're only child, you're also a firstborn name the last one. You can like
The only child probably takes precedence over the other ones.
And some of these, like the order of birth names, some of it is not really said until like later on, like we said, you acquire it. It's not written anywhere that this is pattern because your parent didn't know that you're going to be a Mansa or Mana or later on. And so you pick it up later. Yeah.
Oh, Teresa. Sorry. So I'm a picture. So Saturday and the last one. I think that's the last of our.
No. The others are the like I
So that's the last one. So welcome to the family. Are there any questions that you have? Kitchen. Yes.
I'm sorry if I missed it, if you said it earlier, but the day of the week, does that have significance in the culture other than in the naming?
Well, the significance is in the name. So the day of the week is significant because it determines the name you get, especially for the occurrence.
Does it have like, you know, how some astrological?
Well, it actually does.
To that?
I think it does. You have to go. You guys may have to explain because I think the consider and these have names. I don't know it offhand, but I think the names. These names are significant. They mean something. I just don't know what they are. I just don't know the top of my head. Like days of the week. Like
just like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
And we
Right.
can say Sunday is considered Monday. It's a name.
it's a name. Okay.
Yeah. Just like we have different names for the months. Sanga, Papa, April, January, February, March, April. We have our
Because I say that because in my language, in the Ghana language, the day names, the names of the week actually mean something so humble. You know, I forgot what it means. But the names actually do mean something.
Yeah, right, I didn't know if like Sunday means it's wrong and Monday.
Oh, we are talking about they do say that there are some temperaments that go with others, but you don't choose the day on which you were born. But they do say that, okay, with the exception of him, we are very more gentle and
Family,
I know, but I said with the exception of him.
What?
My mom is a Sunday, and then she recently found out that me is a Sunday. My mom absolutely adores me. And so when she found out that, we said, you're coincidence, meaning, he's also a Sunday mom. That's why we get along so well. So.
many women know today that's something that we would want to obviously in ARBA is Tuesday's the best day. But do people do that? Do they say, I want my child to be born on a certain day?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Lack of the draw.
You
You want to But I think with modern medicine, people have C-section. I'm sure they can schedule a C-section a specific day. But growing up, I don't think anybody when they say, "Oh, I want to have my kid on a Sunday," which is usually the best day anyway.
Why did Wednesday and Friday have two names?
It's not just them that have two names. I just pick some of the common names. Some of them, like Kobina has to go, they go Kobina.
Right. People have Jojo. Those are, you can call them nicknames or just variations. Like somebody called Comfort, Michael or Richard or Rich or Michael or Mike. Those are just variations. Yeah, just little variations. That's why I kept saying that the Fantis are the ones who have these variations more than anybody else. They have these, Kukua and Araba is going to be Baba, right? Baba, if it, anybody else? Any other questions? Yes. Go ahead. She was going to say something.
No, I was going to say, for example, Araba can also mean Irapa.
Irapa, right?
If you're born in that day,
Lady.
it's a very nice little.
Oh, please don't say that Maria is going to get this into her head. Right. Araba means, literally means lady, like the queen, lady,
So since you are moving to a tribe, have you decided when raising your children how which tribe you choose to name from?
This is a soft spot in our family. But yeah, I get to choose. It's paternal.
But I had my will, so my kids have their names.
Yeah. She's the neck that moves ahead. What can I say? Yeah, but mostly it's the male side of the family that gives the names. My sister-in-law, when she had a baby, for example, in my tribe, right? So I have my firstborn is Nipako, right? My brother also has a boy. He's also Nipako, right? So it doesn't matter, how many. If my other brother had also had a boy, the firstborn will also be Nipako. So in my family, for example, my car have 3 or 4 cousins who are Dzinto, right? They have the exact same name because that's the name we get. It doesn't matter. My sister-in-law didn't want to do that, so she insisted on giving my nieces English names, and those English, she insisted on calling them by their English names, and that has stuck. But I also call them by their traditional names. That it's the male that decides what the name is going to be. Unfortunately.
The discrimination happens everywhere.
Anybody else?
Can you get kicked out, say like, if you move to Nigeria?
Yes.
So thank you all very much. This has been wonderful. This has been wonderful. We don't talk about culture very much. It's beautiful. It's if you ever get a chance to visit any part of Africa, go to Ghana. The food is great. I mean, the people are lovely, and it's beautiful. So thank you all for coming, and thank you for sharing part of our culture, allowing us to share part of our culture with you. Oh, sure, absolutely. I would like to take a picture with all the kids.